Billy Elliot by Melvin Burgess. Chapter 2. Jackie's Story. The Boxing Club. I worry about Billy. I try to be a good father, but every boy needs a mother, and Billy's not an ordinary boy. We are fighting now, for our future and for our town. It's a fight for my job and for Tony's job, but is it a fight for Billy? I know it's different. Our Billy will never go down the mine and bring Lib the coal. Everything has changed. My dad was on strike in the 1930s, but then the miners were important. Everybody needed coal. Coal ran the factories, lit the streets and the houses, and drove ships across the water. Now people don't need coal because they've got oil and gas. And coal from Argentina is cheaper than English coal. The government doesn't like us. The head of the government, Margaret Thatcher, wants to close the country down. She's already closed half the factories. Now she's closing the mines. At first, I thought we could stop her. Now I'm not sure. Maybe Tony's right. Maybe I'm old and soft. I've lost almost everything. My lovely wife Sarah is dead. I've only got the boys and the strike. Life is hard. Very, very hard. I stay on strike because of Tony. What will he do if the mines close? You can't be a miner without a mine. So here I am, fighting for Tony and for Billy. I have nothing to give them. No job, no mother, no future. Just me. Every Saturday I watch Billy box. I miss the beginning of the class because I'm on the picket line. It's hard out there. We watch the scabs going into the mine in buses. Tony and some of the other young men want to hurt the scabs. They want blood. They shout it sometimes. Blood, blood, blood. I don't agree with them. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I know why Tony is angry. We are fighting for the future, and those scabs are hiding behind the police. They are men that I worked with. They are men that I went to school with. They are my friends, and they are riding into the mine behind the police. We have to fight the bosses. We don't want to fight our friends too. I went to the club on Saturday to watch my boy at his boxing class. I boxed when I was a boy. My dad boxed and Tony boxed too. Now Billy has boxing lessons. I tell him, "You must fight, boy. If you can't fight, people will hurt you." There was a ballet class in the hall. It was full of little girls in pink dresses jumping up and down, up and down. "Bottoms out," called the ballet teacher. Ballet and boxing in the same place. I laughed. But the little girls in boxing gloves and the boys in those pink shoes, I thought. That will be funny. Billy was in the boxing ring with another boy. "Hit him, Billy!" I shouted. Billy is getting better. He moves his feet well. "You move well," I said, "but hit him too." The other boy was taller, stronger than Billy, but he was fat. Billy will win easily, I thought. Then they started to fight. What was Billy doing? He was dancing, turning in circles. "Oh no," George said, "not again. This isn't a tea party. It's a fight. Hit him, hit him." He looked at me and I shook my head. Billy was dancing round and round the boxing ring. The other boy stood there watching. "Watch him, Billy!" I shouted. Too late. The other boy walked up to Billy and hit him. And there was Billy on his back. George was very angry. "Billy Elliot, you are the worst boxer at this club. Bring me 50 pence for the lesson. I couldn't look at Billy. I was so angry. What can I do for that boy if he can't fight a fat boy? What can he do? Billy Elliot by Melvin Burgess. Chapter 3. Billy's Story. The Ballet Class. Hit it! You'll stay here until you do hit it, Billy Elliot. I hit the practice back. I imagine it was George's face. Keep your feet on the ground, Elliot. Don't be stupid. Hit it! Bottoms in. Feel the music. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Lift your arms. Feel the music. Across the hall, a woman was teaching her ballet class. An old man was playing the piano. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I started hitting to the sound of the music. Then I laughed. George won't like this, I thought. That better? Why don't you do that to somebody's head one day? George took some keys from his pocket and threw them to me. Give those to Mrs. Wilkinson when you finish. I'll see you next week. He went out of the hall. Good. This back is George's head, I thought. I hit it harder. I don't like boxing. My friend Michael is right, it's stupid. Why do you want to hit people? It's stupid, he asked. You must fight people. If you don't, they will hit you. I ran away, Michael said. The music changed. And halt, the teacher said. Don't look at me, Susan. Look in front of you. Lift your arms up and down. Good. Eyes front, baby. And 5 and 6. I took off the gloves and walked across the hall. The girls were pretty in their pink dresses, but I felt a bit uncomfortable. Miss, the kiss. The kiss, miss, I said. She didn't look at me. Not now, she said. 3, 4, and 5, and 6. The music started again and the girls danced. They were clever. They all lifted their arms at the same time and they turned round. Then they lifted their legs and pointed their feet. It was interesting, but it was easy. I can do that, I thought. I lifted my foot. See? Easy. Why don't you try? A girl said to me. It was Debbie Wilkinson. She's in my class at school. No, I said. Can you imagine me in a ballet class? It's not easy, she said. You can't do it. I can. She lifted her leg up and pointed her toes. Do that, she said. I put my leg out and pointed my foot. See, she said. It was true. Her foot was more pointed than mine. I'm wearing my boots, I said. Your leg's shaking, she said. She was laughing at me, but she was right. Her leg wasn't shaking, but mine was. My Nan wanted to be a dancer. Mom could dance too. Nan took Mom to ballet lessons when she was a girl. I thought about Nan and Mom dancing. Not everybody in our family boxes. I moved with the girls, but it was very difficult. Up and down, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Take your boots off. Oi. Miss was standing on my foot. How big are your feet? 2, 3, boots off. 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Take off my boots? Why? I didn't know, but I took them off. Then she dropped a big pair of ballet shoes in front of me. Put them on, she said. You can't dance in those boots. So I put on the shoes. Nobody saw me except the girls. And do you know something? I think they liked me in their ballet class. Mrs. Wilkinson was a good teacher. She moved up and down, up and down. We pointed our arms in front and our legs behind us, and she looked at me. Nice straight leg, she said. It was easier with the shoes, but not very easy. You try it. Stand for a minute on one leg with your arms in front of you. You'll see, it's hard. She didn't say anything, but she thought I was good. Later, when I was walking home, she stopped her car next to me. Debbie was in the back seat. I didn't know she was Mrs.'s daughter. "Give me 50 pence," Miss said. "Why?" "For the ballet class? Bring it next week." "I have to go to boxing, miss." "But you're no good at boxing," Debbie said. "Be quiet, Debbie." Mrs. Wilkinson looked at me. "Didn't you enjoy the ballet class?" I didn't say anything. "Okay," she said and drove away. Debbie made a funny face through the back window. She was right. I enjoyed the class. I ran and jumped down the road. The music filled my head. Next day, every part of my body hurt. I thought about ballet every day. 1 and 2 and up and down. It's interesting, but it's stupid too. My dad and Tony will laugh at me. You can't dance in a coal mine. Not everyone thinks ballet is stupid. Some of the girls say I was brave, but then they told the boys and the boys laughed at me. It's not important. The boys at school always laugh at me. One day Debbie followed me home after school. "Lots of boys dance ballet," she said. "Only gay boys," I told her. "Not all of them are gay," she said. We were at the top of the hill. We could see the mine with a lot of miners and policemen around it. There were thousands of people. A police van drove past us and I saw the faces of the police inside. "I go boxing on Saturdays," I said. "Okay," she said and turned away. "She lives on the other side of the town. Big houses, big gardens, posh people." She walked away. I looked down at the mine where the miners were shouting at the police. It was a war. Earlier today I told Michael about the ballet and showed him some of the moves. All the boys were running across the school field during the sports lesson. Michael and I hate running, so we went down to the railway line. We hide there sometimes. We sat and talked for 10 minutes. Then I showed him some ballet moves. "Put your leg out," I said. "Arm out. 1, 2. He looked at me and smiled. "Eyes to the front," I told him. I showed him all the moves. "Do you know something? I am much better than him." "You have had lessons," he said. "1 lesson," I told him. "Will you go to the class again?" "No." "But you are good at ballet." "It's for girls." "I don't think so," Michael said. "You look like a man, strong." When next Saturday came, Dad and Tony went to the picket line. I took my 50 pence and gloves and went to the hall. But when I got there, I heard George. He was shouting. I didn't want to go into the boxing class. Michael's right, boxing is stupid. I hid in the changing room until the other boys left. Then I went to the ballet class. At first, the class was boring. I didn't know the ballet moves. The girls danced on the left of the room and I danced on the right. "What are you doing?" Miss asked. "I don't know what to do, miss." "Follow the others. Go to the back of the room and watch. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I tried, but it wasn't much fun. I wanted to leave. Then Miss showed me the spin. I've seen people spin on TV. They move very fast. Then they suddenly stop. If you don't do it well, you fall on your back. I wasn't any good at the spin. "Billy, you are not a girl. Try harder. Spin." I did, and I fell onto the floor. The girls looked at me, but they didn't laugh. People don't laugh in the Mrs. class. "Do it again at home," she said. Then we did some slower ballet moves. That was easier. At the end of the class, I was very tired, but I felt good. I can't do that spin, I thought. Debbie was waiting for me. The spin's hard, she said. She practiced it in front of me. I'm faster than you, I told her. You can do it, she laughed. I stood up. I did a slow spin first, and it was good. But when I turned faster, I fell again. Mrs. Wilkinson walked across the room to us. Go away, she said to Debbie. Debbie walked away, and Miss looked down at me. Are you going to come to the class next week? I don't know. I feel stupid, I said. Then give me your ballet shoes. I stopped. I didn't like ballet much, but that spin, I wanted to do it. No, it's okay, I said. Good, she said. She walked away. She didn't say goodbye. I danced through the streets to my home. Ballet was different and exciting. Then suddenly I was in the kitchen with the ballet shoes in my hand and the boxing gloves around my neck. What am I doing? I thought. Dad will kill me if he sees these shoes. Nan was waiting for me. Oh, ballet shoes, she said. I was a dancer. Don't tell anybody, Nan, I said. Then I ran upstairs and hid the shoes.